Hello, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. Today we're going to do a Divine Masculine check-in. Okay. Okay. You ready to drop in? Let's see what Divine Masculines are working with. What are they struggling with? What are their blocks? What would support them in overcoming those blocks? All right, let's go. All right, Spirit. What do we need to know about Divine Masculine energy? What are we confronting? What do we need to know? All right, we have protection, call back your power, cut cords, soul retrieval. And we also have Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. You know, when I first started on YouTube, Divine Masculine Energy, for months, we're working on this concept of a firm foundation, right? Building stability, really making sure that foundation was appropriate so that they can build what they needed to build on top of it. And slowly but surely, the Divine Masculines were being called to get comfortable in the chaos. Right? What's another version of this? Another version of this is Divine Masculines were working on nourishing their inner Divine Feminine, right? Divine Feminine energy is very comfortable in the depths, in the emotional waters, in the emotional truths, going with the flow, surrendering to the mystery. And so it's very interesting right now that the masculines are being called now at the right time to lay a more appropriate, a more pristine, divinely guided foundation. It makes sense to me that it's after all this time that it's starting to take a little bit of shape. And then we also have this Imrama card. Where are you being called to journey to? Anything else, Spirit? Anything else you want to share? I guess so. And then we also have Mintaken, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. Okay, in the unconscious position, I'm not even going to go into this yet. This is like a whole thing. I got to start in the unconscious position. We have leap. You go first. The universe will catch you. But it's in the reverse. And for those of you who have been watching me, the unconscious, a reversal in the unconscious position, meaning the card at the bottom of the deck, is the shadow position. This position is what is being pushed into the shadows, meaning what are you avoiding? What are you not looking directly in the eye at and taking accountability for? So, masculines, there's something here that you may have a story that you've been keeping alive for a very long time that you cannot take a leap until something is done, until something is accomplished. One of my favorite really brief talks is this talk with Sri Kumar Rao. I think Mind Valley might have posted it. I think that's where I first saw it. But anyway, he talks about the if-then model and how, I don't want to use the word toxic, how much using the if-then model delays our deeper truth. It actually delays what's right here. It robs us of opportunities to be grateful and present in the moment. So masculines, do you have a narrative that you're keeping alive that picture the if-then model like a formula, and now you're just going to plug in your truth, right? It's going to be like a truth Mad Lib, like insert truth here, right? So if I have enough money, then I could take a step towards my soul's mission and purpose. If I look a certain way, then I can have the divine partnership, feminine of my dreams. If I, get this degree, this next certification, make this amount of money, then I can have or do blah, 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 fill in the blank. This is not a small thing, masculines. Let me, sorry, I just need to get organized here. I feel all messy and I don't like it. All right, again, I have another new setup today. This was actually my original setup from a long time ago. I'm just going to leave that unconscious position right there. Okay, masculines. Where was I? What was I talking about? Oh, right. Unconscious position. It says you go first, the universe will catch you. So another way to look at this card is, where do you not have faith in self? Where do you not have faith in your own soul's mission? Where is your worth? Where are you stumbling with your worthiness? Where is your confidence? Where is your third chakra at? What do we need to tweak? What is, hold on. Okay, here's another message, a separate message, and it's a lovely message. Masculines, if you are frustrated that you are not where you think you should be, or that you want to take action but it doesn't feel like the right time, or it's not how you thought it would be, I need you to really take a step back. I need you to really allow your seat of truth to hold you. Really kind of step into the bird's eye view of your situation, your relationship, your life, your job, whatever you're focused on at this moment. And really understand that these moments are moments where your intuition is banging down the door and trying to communicate something with you. Again, this is a strong piece of your inner feminine. Your inner feminine holds the gnosis, holds the wisdom. The feminine energy is the portal to the divine. We all have masculine and feminine energy, so let's not get it twisted. Let's not put all of our eggs in our partner's basket thinking we're going to gain all of that other polarity from an external source. No, the call comes from inside the house, right? So recognize that what you're frustrated with is actually intuition and wise discernment moving through your life. You may be frustrated that this discernment is here. You may not want to be where you are. You may want to be further along or deeper in or more accomplishing more or whatever it is. But understand that actually you stepping into this truth is stepping toward mastery, right? You have to really understand that, again, the path is not what you thought it was going to be. Right? The power is in the mustard seed. What is big is really small. What is small is really big. And so the universe, the quantum field, God, is not going to challenge you in a light and flashy way. The challenges come from the intimate moments in our interior world, right? It's that moment where you're being called to, flex your discipline, flex your ability to call your spirits and awareness back from places it does not belong. Okay, do I have to say that again? I feel like I just want to say it again to myself. Masculines, when you feel frustrated at where you're at, take a step back and look at what's preventing you. Are there thoughts? Are there ideas? Because this is your intuition speaking to you. Pay attention to it. This is the new sort of calibration that you're learning how to navigate right now. You're getting used to having this stream of intuition, right? This stream of wisdom just pouring through you. Now, the work is in how you come into relationship with that intuition. What do you do with it? Do you listen to it? Do you doubt it? Do you push it away? Do you throw a tantrum because it's not what you want to be, or not what you want to hear, or not what you want it to look like? You're being called to step into this mastery over this wise discernment. Okay, beautiful. Whew. Let's see where we're gonna go. Yeah, sure, we can get these. Let's see. Okay, masculines. Anything else? Actually, hold on. Spirit, is there a specific question or thread you want me to pull out of this? Okay. Yes, there is. Where are you being called to journey to? Now, anytime I get like a direct question like that, and this is good to start training your inner voice, when you get a question of where are you being called to, instead of asking that direct question, because sometimes we don't always get a direct answer. So what I feel is useful and will actually move the needle is what is blocking me from arriving, period. What is blocking me, right? What is holding me back? What is blocking me? So I'm going to ask that. What is blocking the divine masculines from answering the call to where they're meant to journey? What do we got? Psychic abilities. Oof. Okay. I haven't gotten this message in a few months for divine masculines. What is this? New beginnings. Yeah. Okay. Oh, masculines. Isn't it amazing? I don't know how long some of you have been with me, but it's really incredible when you start to see the same thing, the same stuck point or issue or adversity cycle back around. Masculines, you had like 2 months where your inability to embrace your psychic gifts and abilities, and it's not just psychic abilities, that might be a little bit narrow for some of you. It's any sort of spiritual gift. Your inability to embrace these gifts is what's preventing you from this new beginning. It's what's blocking you from taking that step forward. Now, wait, hold on. Let me get something else. Wait, I have so much to say. What do I do first, Spirit? And I have full body chills right now. I don't know if you could see that, but full goosebumps. No, we're going to keep going. There's 3 more threads that are moving through, but we're just going to listen. Okay. Yeah, it's going to take some courage, masculines, right? This is where you're being called to lean on your inner feminine. We have this Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Lean on your spiritual crew. And that this could be of this world in the realm of matter. It could be your community. It could be your family, your partner, anyone else, like-minded souls. Or it could be on your quantum community, your spirit family, your angels, your archangels, your spirit guides, your soul crew, your soul family that you incarnated here with, everyone you signed a soul contract with. You're being, okay, hold on. My body's on fire right now and tingling and, okay. Masculines, you're being called quite literally. Like, I don't normally get these messages, but these cards are so direct. The Anna, grandmother of Jesus, is calling you. I'm getting emotional. Hold on. I don't know what the message is here, but the energy arrives faster than the message arrives. So sometimes I'll have these emotional kind of, because my body could feel what's coming in. My body could feel the power, the magnitude, the longitude and latitude of what is moving through me. So can we just, for a moment, entertain me for a moment. Think about a grandmother for a second. Think about the archetype of a grandmother. What do you think of? When I think of a grandmother, I think of like warm, cozy, nourishing, always feeding their grandkids, putting $5 in a card for Christmas or for Easter or for cute little things. I don't know. I just think of like this really sweet, strong matriarchal energy, this kind of pillar. That's how it was in my life. And that's what I'm thinking of with this grandmother archetype. Now, what kind of grandmother Jesus would have had? Like, can you just imagine that for a second? I'm getting emotional because so often the grandmother figure is like the elder divine feminine in a family, right? Maybe if you're lucky, you might have a great grandmother still around, but more often than not, most people only know their grandparents and not the generation prior. And if you do, consider yourself blessed. There's that lovely, lovely quote that when a family possesses an elder, they possess a jewel. And it's just so true. It's just so true, right? You have insight, you have direct link to the past, to all of that wisdom that came before you. Now, multiply this times 1,000,000 and imagine the grandmother of Jesus. Imagine how that grandmother would have treated Jesus. Imagine the foundation that grandmother would have gifted to Jesus. Not Jesus that we know, right? Not Yeshua that we know now, but like little kid Jesus who was just having fun being a kid. You know what I mean? It's a very interesting thing to think about. Now let's bring it back to the core message. Masculines, you're being called to lean on whatever this elder, matriarchal, divine feminine is for in your life. And maybe it's not any one thing. Maybe it's just the highest and best possible interpretation of that elder, matriarchal, feminine energy. Allow that energy to seed your foundation, to literally set the what do you call when you pour an actual foundation of a building? They drive those piles in. Basically, those are like what strengthens the foundation. Those are what kind of solidify this kind of structure so that they can pour the concrete or whatever it is. I'm not a contractor, so I don't fully know what I'm talking about, but you get the point of my analogy. Leaning on this matriarchal divine wisdom, masculines, is what's going to help you give structure to this new foundation of yours. Wow. I want to cry like ugly cry really hard right now. It's that big. It feels this big, masculines. It feels really important. Also, just for a second, masculines, think about a grandmother like gassing you up, right? Grandparents gas their grandchildren up, right? They put them on a pedestal. They give them all the love. They cherish every little thing that they do, the artwork they make, right? Allow that to fill your gas tank. Allow that to feed this courage when you are being called to take a next step towards your spiritual gifts. Maybe you have spiritual gifts as a leader, as a healer in some capacity. Maybe you are, mind you, this doesn't have to mean you're going to like go off the rails and completely, bail on your current life. It could mean that, sure, why not? That's kind of what I did. That's what I was called to do. I was called to a very unique path. That was for me. Now, not everyone's going to be called to that same path. However, it also could mean maybe you're called to bring your spiritual gifts into the office, into a corporate environment, into whatever you do. It doesn't matter if you're, in IT security or if you're a fisherman. You can always bring your spiritual awareness, this awareness of something greater than self, this way of being in this world where you are sensitive to, these divine laws that exist around us and move through us. It just could mean that you're being called to live in this new way in your current life. It might not be that it's coming full circle now. Maybe you're frustrated because you do want it to look really different. Maybe you do want to, quit your corporate job and go live in an ashram somewhere. And that's beautiful as well. However, you have to be authentic to what's being asked of you, not what you want, not what you think you should do, right? The whole point of this is to learn how to take off our masks, not to add more on, right, masculines? Okay. Oh, this just came flying out. Yeah, we have beauty. I don't know if you could see. Let me hold it up. This figure is looking in a mirror. And there's something, masculines, here about polishing your mirror in such a way that you can see your divine gifts, that you can see them in a way that is beautiful, not cumbersome, not a pain in the ass, not something you have to contend with, but something that you get to befriend and move through. And then we also have blessings in reverse. Yeah, it's just so funny how these cards come out. Okay, what's in the unconscious? Healing. I'm going to put it smack dab in the center over this courage card. Oh, masculines. Yeah, what's being pushed into the shadows is your own healing. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I could ask all the questions that I always ask. I'm pretty good at that. So let's do it. Masculines, what is showing up for you right now? What needs to be healed? Maybe what needs to be healed is I'm interrupting myself. I have this really beautiful soul sister friend, and one of her taglines when one of us is having a hard time, she's always like, what if there's nothing to fix? And that means so much to me because it challenges my brain, because so often I think in our very masculine-centered patriarchal culture, the masculine energy wants to see a problem and fix the problem. But that's not how a feminine would fix the problem. A feminine would surrender, would create even more space to flow, to allow the emotions, to allow the vulnerability to bubble up from the depths, to shine light and love on this sacred vulnerability. And for the masculine collective, vulnerability has been a bit of a thorn in their side, right? In our side, collectively. We are working towards creating a very safe, loving, welcoming home space for the masculine energy to ground and trust that they will be held and loved in and through their vulnerability. So masculines, I ask you, what is the cave you fear to enter because it holds the treasure you seek? That's a Jung quote, not my quote. Just have to point that out. What are you scared to look at? What are you scared to take accountability for? What is showing up for you right now when I say this? Do you pay attention to your body? Do you feel any little twinge anywhere in your body? Do you feel contraction? Do you feel a pit in your stomach or a contraction in your chest, right? Anytime, if I were to guess, if I had to make a wager on where you might be feeling this, I would say in your solar plexus diaphragm area, right? Because this is a third chakra issue. This is a confidence issue, a self-esteem. Am I worthy to share my vulnerability? And then what comes in immediately? All the fears, all the reasons why you should not share your vulnerability, right? That's the inner saboteur bubbling up from the depths. So what comes in when you're scared of, when you take baby steps towards vulnerability, immediately the inner saboteur is going to come in. What is that inner saboteur saying? There is where your work is. So say you're like, okay, I'm feeling vulnerable with my relationship. I am scared that if I share my thoughts and feelings that they're going to abandon me or reject me. Right? That's your inner saboteur. Your inner saboteur is, why risk it? Right? This is the saboteur speaking. Why risk it? Just shove all your feelings down and keep the peace, right? But there's that great line, when we swallow our truth to keep the peace, we literally create a war within ourselves. It's not worth it, masculines. Do not swallow your truth for anything. Okay. I'm getting distracted now, so let's go somewhere else. Whew. This is a lot today, masculines. How are you feeling? I'm just really curious. Where do we want to go? Let's get some animal cards. I haven't used these in a while. This is a really ginormous, look how big this deck is. It's really hard to shuffle. Okay. Anything else for, actually, let me just feel into where we're at. Spirit, where are we focusing? Okay, on the beauty and vulnerability. Perfect. Thank you. All right, what do we need to know about embracing the beauty in the center of this flavor of chaos of vulnerability? What would support the masculine energy right now? What do they need to hear? Yeah, take time to heal. It's the snake spirit. Yeah, I'm very drawn. So it's a 55 card reduces to a 1, right? So that's really it's a 10. So endings and beginnings, completion of cycle. I'm sorry, my brain's moving faster than my mouth can keep up. So two narratives from the snake energy that come to my heart. So, okay, traditionally in, Christian, whatever, you think the snake, the serpent, the Garden of Eden, right? The snake tempted Eve with this apple, which was really gnosis and wisdom. I also think of the caduceus, the weaving of masculine, feminine energies on this ascension path to reach illumination and wholeness and oneness. However, the biggest one I'm thinking is the Ouroboros. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it's the circle of the snake eating its own tail. So there's this kind of death and rebirth, this like kind of this self-regeneration kind of energy here, masculines. So for me, this is a message telling you, you have everything you need within you to make these changes. You have everything you need within you to confront these pieces of self, to parent these pieces of self, and to shine this grandmother unconditional love and acceptance to these vulnerable parts of self. Yeah, I mean, I should have put these together. And then we also have this panther spirit, reclaim your power. Here's the thing, masculine. We need to take back vulnerability. Like, we need to reframe it appropriately, because honestly, people think vulnerability is a weakness, right? You're weak, you're vulnerable, blah, blah, blah. Really, if you can stand and claim your vulnerability as your truth, you are the freest and most sovereign version of self that you have ever been. When you can excavate your truths out of the shadows from the depths, bring them into the light, illuminate them with love, you are the most powerful version of self. So what are you being called to confront? I just realized we have a 44 and a 55 card. You know, it's interesting, this consecutive nature. This reduces to an 8, which is the infinity symbol on its side. Or you know what I mean, the 8 symbol on its side. And then we have the Ouroboros. We have the reduced to a 10, endings and beginnings, right? Do you see, like, masculines, the message here is that this crap is going to keep coming back around until you clean it up. I was about to say until you flush the toilet, but like, that was too gross to me, but I said it anyway. So now it's in our collective psyche. I said it. It happened. All right, masculines, like, what do you need to confront? What's showing up? What's this crap that keeps, like, nagging you? What is that, like, itch you don't ever want to scratch? What is that thing for you? Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? Ooh, masculines, great reading. It's so, okay, yeah. Dragonfly spirit. So dragonflies, another 22 card, which reduces to a 4. Okay, so 22, yes, it's a twin flame card. Let me just put that in our collective psyche right now. Yeah, sure. Okay, I said it. But also reduces to a 4. 4 is a very stable number, right? Where it's feeding back into laying appropriate divine foundations, not foundations full of shadowy non-truths, right? We're clarifying our foundation. We're leaning on wisdom greater than ourselves. We're calling our spirit back from places it doesn't belong. We're reclaiming vulnerability. We're taking accountability for the places and nooks and crannies of the soul where we are not free, right? Truth transcends illusion. Listen, your fears are a perception. I don't want to demean your fear. However, a perception is not divine truth. A perception is fueled and created by your lifetime of experience. It's different, right? That's why my perception and your perception and their perception are all going to be different. So here's the thing. Truth transcends illusion. Your ultimate truth cuts through all of that confusion. It cuts through the crap. It cuts through any sort of dissonance, right? When you hear truth, we've all probably heard a quote or a line, a lyric, a poem, something that when you hear it, it made, the hair on your neck stand up. It made you correct your posture because that truth just hit you. It hit you in the root and vibrated up your spine and made you stand up straight, right? That's the power of truth, masculines. Truth transcends illusion. So you're being called to excavate your truth. It is no longer acceptable to use your life force to keep yourself hidden, to keep parts of yourself hidden. Remember, where are we? You are being called to embrace your spiritual psychic gifts. You're being called to step into this look at this new beginning card. Look at this portal. Look at what's through this portal, this archway. Look at that Eden, right? We have like birds flying over and the beautiful sun is shining on the mountain landscape. Come on, masculines. You're being called, this new beginning, this new Eden is on the other side of your vulnerability and your truth. Beautiful. Anything else? Let's get some self-care cards. Let's do that. Which ones do we want to do? Okay, we'll do these. Okay. Anything else for masculines? What would support them in helping them excavate their truth and vulnerability and to embrace all illusions in their life and to surrender them back to the quantum field and to let them go? We have this beautiful growth card, and it says, evolution starts when you leave your comfort zone. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. I mean, if this isn't a direct answer, masculines, your work, and I know you like structure and I know you like to penetrate the problem and excavate a solution. Your work then is to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, is to enter into your dark night holding your center for love in that flavor of vulnerable chaos. And then we also had surrender, but it came out in reverse, but I'm going to read it upright. It says, stop trying to control life. It gets in the way of divine intervention. I mean, come on, masculines. These messages are so on point. I swear I had a flipper. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Self-worth in reverse. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. Why settle for crumbs when you deserve a whole meal? Masculine, why settle for this life? Why settle for this life of where you're showing up with less than who you are? Why settle for a life where you are wearing masks? It's time to take off the masks and allow the world to see who you truly are. What does this say? Speak up. Oh my God. Hold on. Is this going to say, I can't even make this up? I literally said this quote in this reading, I think. If you avoid conflict to keep the peace, you start a war within yourself. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for affirming my vessel, my channel, my abilities. Thank you for guiding us, guiding the Divine Masculine Collective through this, through and to this altar of truth, of vulnerability. I'm so grateful for this path. I'm so grateful for the work that we're doing together. Masculine Spirit, thank you. I thank all of you. Do we want to keep going? I just have to keep going because it's just so, I'm like vibrating right now. Anything else? Anything else? Masculine, you're being called to master your your fifth chakra, your throat chakra. Okay, let me just give you a call to action because I know you like that. Masculines, what is the next kindest step you can take for yourself on this path? What does it look like? Where might you feel the safest to step towards your vulnerability? Does someone specific come to mind? Does a certain action come to mind? Like, a lot of people, like sometimes even people can't even write down their truth and their vulnerability. Like sometimes that just allowing it to be put into the realm of matter is too much for some people. So maybe step one for you masculines is just writing it down, and maybe you can burn it, so there's no evidence. What is the first kindest step you can take for yourself? If that's not challenging for you, maybe you could find a partner or a friend or someone you trust to speak this truth. And actually, as that came out of my mouth, I was just thinking about sometimes it's much easier to speak your deepest, most vulnerable stuff to a stranger, right? That's why people do well, like in therapy, because, the therapist is unbiased. They don't know you. They're not in your life. And that's kind of how it should be, right? So masculines, you're being called to just nudge yourself towards this first step. What would be the kindest next step for you to take towards your vulnerability? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Where would you do it? What is the method? Start asking yourself these questions. All right. Anything else, Spirit? I guess so. We have this energy card. It says, stop trying to please everyone. Everyone is a whole lot of people. Protect your energy. Yeah, I mean, beautiful, beautiful message. And then in the unconscious position, we have this surprise card. It says, release your expectations and be open to surprise, right? This is reaffirming the feminine energy. The feminine energy is very comfortable surrendering to the mystery. The feminine energy is very comfortable in vulnerability. Listen, when someone is vulnerable, you don't know the outcome. You don't know what it's going to look like. You don't know if you're going to be received, but this is what you have to shift, masculines. Sharing your vulnerability is not for anyone else. It's for you. And that's why feminine energy, I think, is so free to do that, because feminine energy knows that they get to have a deeper connection with this person at the end of it, right? That's the prize, is to be cherished and loved in your truth, and have a deeper connection because you were vulnerable with someone. Like, this is the gold, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, masculine. So I'm calling you to shift your focus to not how it feels when you're doing it, but why you're doing it. What do you gain? Even if you don't make a deeper connection with the person you're sharing with, you are a more liberated person. You took a step towards self-love. You took a step towards claiming your truth, your self-esteem, your worthiness. You're confident enough to dare to show up as your true self and dare the universe to love you anyway, right? That's the name of the game here, to kind of shift the focus to the destination is not the prize. The journey is the prize, right? The process of getting there is the meat and potatoes of the path, is the core thing that we get to take with us onward, no matter where you go in your life, no matter who you're connected with, right? Beautiful, beautiful masculines. I don't want to stop this reading. It's just so delicious. Let's just end on a Buddha wisdom, and it's fitting that I just have my Divine Feminine Buddha Wisdom deck here. So let's just see what comes out. Anything else you want to share with the masculine spirit? What would support them right now? What do they need to hear? What would be a really lovely exclamation point on this reading? And if you don't have anything, that's fine too. Right when I said it. Okay, we have a lot. I'm going to read all of them. Why not? Okay. We have, some of these are very abstract and existential, so just flow with them. And if they don't resonate, just leave them. We have, form does not differ from void. Form is void. Outer difficult will be resolved with your inner truth. I mean, this is kind of mirroring what I just said, that when you can enter your void, when you can enter your dark night, your dark cave, you illuminate it from within, thus eradicating it, thus eradicating the shadow. When you illuminate a truth, when you illuminate a piece of self, quite literally, you are eradicating any and all darkness, right? So it literally disappears. Form does not differ from void. Form is void. So when you can enter your void space, you take this empowering shape and you eradicate that which has held you back. Okay, and then we have, your past, present, and future are elusive. Be pure. Free yourself from such conditions unimpeded. To me, this is saying, nurture your empty vessel. When you can remain pure of heart, pure truth, you can move through this quantum field unobstructed. Am I really going to read all these? I think I am. We have, cultivate perfection of wisdom. No fire, poison, sword, and water can harm you. Yeah, this to me is leaning on your own consciousness. When you cultivate ultimate truth, none of this other 3D stuff can really, shake you, right? When you've mastered your interior castle, all of this other chaos. Okay, let me say it in my language. My language is, when you've mastered being able to hold your center for love in any flavor of chaos, you have now become a master of chaos. You could walk in anywhere, you could show up in any situation, around any kind of people, around and deal with and confront any circumstance, and you still are tempered, you still are balanced, you still have your self-love and love of other. I mean, there's so many wisdom cards. This says wisdom dispels ignorance. Sure, of course, right? And then we have, the loving kindness you show to others returns to you as grace. Masculines, this is a beautiful kind of period to end on. to me, the loving kindness you show to others returns to you as grace. So here's the thing with vulnerability, masculines. Let's honor how hard stepping into vulnerability is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is hard, right? Especially if you haven't done it or been around people that embrace your vulnerability. However, if that's too wobbly for you to start with your own vulnerability, cultivate an inner space where you become safe for someone else to be vulnerable with. Become safety for someone else's vulnerability. By doing this, you receive, it's like you receive reference points for that safety on the back end, right? You might not realize it as you're doing it, but quite literally, you are creating new neurological pathways in the brain to feeling this safety, to feeling this trust and connection. And yet you're not the one in the hot seat, right? When you can hold space for someone else's vulnerability, you are learning what vulnerability looks like, what it smells like, what it tastes like, what it feels like. You're learning what loving in the face of that kind of chaos looks like. And then you get to have that inner gift for yourself. So maybe showing up for others is your first, foot in the door to just tasting what this vulnerability thing is. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. This was such an incredible reading, masculines. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for confronting your blocks. Thank you for showing up in curiosity and awe and wonder. And I'm so grateful for every next step you choose to take. Sending you all so much love, and I will absolutely see you in the next one.